Our next guest, I gotta tell you, hold on, I'm gonna gotta brag on my brother first. Okay, he's running for office. Yeah, he's running for the third congressional district up there in Maryland, and y'all need Berney. One more time. He is running in Maryland for the United States congressional seat District 3. So if you in the Maryland area, you in Virginia area, you in New York area, hell, you anywhere up there in the northeast of the United States of America, and you're tired of being broke and broken, you have a vital candidate right now that could take that seat. Understand me what I'm telling you. He could take that seat and help make your life a whole lot damn better than what you're getting right now in Maryland. We don't want your seafood seasoning down here in Georgia. Y'all need to stay up there and go ahead and fix your own problems. Dave, bring on Berney. Hey, Berney.
Lucretia, you are something else. Good Lord, how could I get a better introduction than that?
Wait till you invite us up there and you be like, girl, I'm getting ready to have my kickoff rally. You want to come up here and hype up the crowd?
Ooh, that's a
Let's
good
get on the ring.
idea. That's a
Get on the
real
ring.
good idea.
Give me, I want you and everybody else up there that we love. I want to help y'all. I mean, I know I'm down here and we got our own races. I want to help y'all up there. Maryland is a hot mess.
Oh Lord, we're fighting the devil up here.
Well, I think you can change it. And I think this is the season.
I
This
believe
is the
so.
time for Republicans to pick up a lot of seat. And if what President Trump is doing, he is calling for another census immediately before the next election to get off all of the illegal voters and the dead or registered voters off of the voting roll. And what's going to happen? Democrats are going to lose power.
Oh yes, that's why they brought all those people over here. I saw it years ago, but I was working for the government, so I couldn't say anything. I just had to go along with the program until I quit. So now I'm going to agitate the system as much as I possibly can. But you know that.
Do you think that they're gonna really attack you up there in Maryland?
They
Wow.
already have. They already have. I'm not going to go into the details and all that sort of stuff. But I used to wrestle, and
Mhm.
wrestling is an honorable person's sport. And I won more than I lost. But when I lost, it was cool. I shook the person's hand and I'll go at them the next time. But these people that we're dealing with are dishonorable. And they come at you asymmetrically. They come at you at ways that you don't expect, that ordinary people don't see. I'm not going to get too deep into it at this point because I'm a positive guy. I just want them to know that I ain't backing down. They hate me with all their heart. Trust me. They don't want
Yeah.
me. And I match up very well with the current incumbent. She is a snowflake, and I am a retired military officer with 34 years of service to the United States government. Stand her next to me. Matter of fact, I met her one time. She stayed away from me by about 50 feet. She wouldn't even come near when I met her at a big, it was kind of a candidates forum or whatever. And all it was me. Now remember, we're in a very, very Democrat state. So one Republican and about 30 Democrats running for various offices. They stayed away from me like I had the plague. And I walk around there like I own the place. But as you mentioned earlier, things are not as they seem. There's a whole lot of illegals and weird things on the voter rolls, 200-year-old people voting and all kinds of mess like that. But I will say that a lot of our good friends have been working really, really hard to clean up those voter rolls. And with Mr. Trump in office, you never know what might happen. So I'm going to do my part.
That there's two big things on the horizon. Okay, call me today. But since you've been in the military and the speculations out there with what the director of war, Pete Hegseth, has said, hey, we need all of the top brass to come back to Virginia immediately. What is going on?
It's funny you should bring that up.
Is this unprecedented? Because he's pulling them out of active war zones. So he's pulling these people all around the world and he's giving them, you better get here time.
Well, here, put it to you this way. I went into the military originally on active duty in 1987. So I got, that's more longer than most people have been alive. So I've seen a lot. I've never seen anything like this before. Um, First of all, I don't have privy to the Secretary of Defense. I can only speculate from my many, many decades in the military and my time as a civil servant in DOD, or I'm sorry, the Department of War. But what I will say is there's such thing as a come to Jesus meeting. This is a come to Jesus meeting.
Ooh.
He's going to bring them and read them the riot act. Now, there could be a lot of reasons that he might be doing that. I mean, let me put it to you this way. During World War II, let me see if I can get my numbers correct. There was, let's see, one general officer for every 6,000 troops. Now, think about that. We're in a global conflict. But
Mhm.
now the officer to enlisted ratio is one general officer for every 1,400 troops. So we're not at a global war, but why do we need all those other general officers?
You rub
And
my
so
elbow.
could be, could be. I'm just speculating. Now, there's also this DEI stuff. Um, I've always
Ooh.
been under the mantra of if you ain't in the business of killing people and breaking things, you shouldn't be in the military.
Wait,
Ain't
wait,
got
wait, wait. I thought it's because you get free housing and you go to school. Ain't that what y'all tell people? Get them sucked in.
No, I had all this testosterone that I needed to get out of my system, and either it was going to be positive or negative. So the best thing for me to do is go fight somebody. So there you go.
because we are speculating everybody before anybody say
We're
anything. Do
speculating.
Do you think because of what we saw and how bad the military was torn down in the last administration, and there's a lot of those holdovers that are left over that use the different pronouns, that still dress and drag, that does all this stuff, but they're doing it all over the world. Do you think those are the people that they're talking about?
I would like to think that is the case. I mean, homosexuality, let's just face it, is not congruent with military service. Let's just face it. You know, a lot of those people, bless their hearts, if you come in and you serve and you do your job, wonderful. But there's a lot of people that came in for benefits. And
Mhm.
let's just say you decide you're a gay person or you want to transition. And I'm just laying it out there. This is what I saw. You know, if you decide you want to transition to another gender, then first thing they're going to do is take you off of duties and your whole
Yeah, but
job. Yeah.
it's people.
So you don't have to do what everybody else does. You don't have to report to formation. You don't have to PT. Your whole job is to transcend, and then you're also gaining pensionable time while you're sitting up, waiting for this surgery. And then once you get the surgery, you're no longer worldwide deployable, so you can't go do anything anyway.
Wow. So what about all, because I was during the Biden administration, even on aircraft warriors ships in the sea and in the ocean, they was having catwalks, literally drag queen story hours, uh movie time. I'm sitting here looking at a TikTok, and there was four gay people that was cross-dressed doing the catwalk on a warship. I'm sitting here like, they doing this now in open. So it became a clown show there for a minute.
Well, here's the thing. These people work for these flag officers, general officers, and admirals. They let this happen. Most of those people were brought in during, as you mentioned, the Obama administration. They are not in the business of making war on our enemies or keeping the peace or defending our country. They're interested in an agenda, and that agenda is not commensurate with the needs and desires of the United States population. So I say, and I'm hoping on the 30th when this happens and they all come down to Quantico, Pete gives them a face full of Secretary of Defense. Don't feel bad for these people because, you get a retirement, a pension at 20 years. So most of these generals, it takes about 25 to 30 years to make brigadier general. So these are four stars and people like that. So these cats and ladies have been in for 30 plus years. So them walking away with their pension, we're still going to have to pay them the rest of their life. So don't cry for Argentina. You know what I mean?
Unless they become traitors.
Well, I think they're already traitors. I think what's happening is the SecDef is going to lay down the law and get rid of these people, these traitors among the ranks. That's what I think. I can say that I've worked with a lot of people. They're really, some of them are good, some of them are bad. But the idea is everybody in the military works at the pleasure of the president. He can fire you for anything. So don't come up with all this ACLU legalese BS. Okay. The issue of the day is your commission as an officer says you work for the office is appointed over you and the president of the United States, and you're working at the pleasure of the president. So if he sees that you got a hair out of place, he can fire you, and you don't have anything to say about it. There's no right to work for the military. This is a privilege. So I'm just looking forward to
That was
Tuesday
the case.
afternoon.
Oh, so you think it's gonna happen? You think they're gonna lay down the law Tuesday?
Oh, they're dragging these people in from all over the earth. People don't seem to understand that we have what's called combatant commands, and those combatant commands have general officers that basically run their combatant command like a fiefdom. I mean, they got more power than most of the presidents in other countries. And if you're sitting around here, let's say you're commander of Pacific Command, and you got squadrons of airplanes and several aircraft carriers and submarines and satellites all under your control, one human being. That is a lot of power. But that power should not be misused. And this idea of DEI and all this other kind of stuff, it's not commensurate with military service. You know, um, the issue is when you put that uniform on, there should be no race, creed, or color. It should be all one unit working together. It's not perfect, but I went in the military because it was the most perfect system that I could find, and I knew that I would be as treated at least as well as anything I knew on the outside. As a matter of fact, in this case, I was treated a lot better. And it bothers me when these people get into the military and use it for selfish purposes. The military is about egalitarianism and doing what's right for the country, not doing what's right for the self. So I can't wait till Tuesday evening when we find out what the SecDef really has in mind for all these terrible generals that all need to be, I'm going to say all of them need to be fired, but the ones that the DEI crew, they got to go. We waste billions of dollars on this, by the way. That's billions of dollars that they could have given to me.
So the DEI hires, all the people that we came in under or was appointed to under the Biden administration, because we know a whole bunch of them, I don't know what happened in the last 4 years. A lot of them was using, how can I say this? Can they keep all their records and everything else that they did during the Biden administration and use that against them as he's calling them up into Quantico?
It's funny. This is unprecedented territory. As I said before, I've been associated with DOD for 34 years and in 4 more years of ROTC, um, my whole adult life. And I have never even heard of anything like this happening, and especially not now. But I will say that there's more generals than we need. They're doing things that are not inherently military, and they need to speak up for themselves and make sure that what we're paying for their salaries. We don't need to pay for any junk. You know what I mean? And all this,
Well,
social promotion and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I don't want to get into it because, I have seen a lot and it ain't been good. And a lot of the recruitment, for example, when before Trump came in during the Biden administration, recruitment was at an all-time low. I mean, people were just leaving the military as fast as they could every time you turn on the television or every time you went to work, because I still worked in a place where there was a lot of soldiers around and Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the issue of the day. But they were having to take so many DEI courses and enhancement courses and equality courses, they didn't have time to do the damn job.
in the military,
Yes,
I
it was
forgot who was
bad.
over. What can they do to Millie? Because Millie need to go. Millie
Millie,
need to go.
Millie is a traitor. As you remember, during the first Trump administration, he called his Chinese counterpart and basically assured them that Trump wasn't going to attack him. That is a strategic blunder as far as I'm concerned, and Millie needs to be court-martialed. But, that's another story for another time. I'm sure that the president and the Secretary of War have a plan for that ass. Yeah, I said it.
Well, they but their ass cheeks are raw and they need to be kicked in between it. Okay, let's get on to Comey because this man right here,
Mm, what a
he's
hot
like,
mess he is.
I'm so sick of him and Christopher Wade. What do you feel about that? The very first arrest that shocked the world.
Well, I heard you earlier talking about the whole J6 thing. And I met Comey one time, and I shook his hand, and he shook hands like a dead fish. Even though he's a big old tall fella, he's about 6'6", but he still shook hands like a sissy boy. And I didn't like that. And I knew something wasn't right with that cat. And
Hold that. I'm gonna let you skirt. The last person that I shook that has a dead fish hand, Marco, not Marco Rubio, but the one that with the really fuzzy hair. I don't like a lot of them. That's how I judge a man. Believe it or not, Berney, I judge a man by his handshake.
you're
Does that make
Southern.
sense?
We're
But and
Southern. That's how we do things.
but when they do this or do something like that, I've already sized them up. And I'm
You
a
know,
female.
you know what else? You ever see Obama sit? Notice he
Uh,
crossed his leg like a woman.
I no, we already talked about that, Jeremiah Wright, lover. I mean, what happened to the chef? I mean, yes, he he crosses his leg. He been zesty. You didn't figure out Barack Obama was zesty a long time ago.
I figured it out a long time ago, but nobody would listen to me.
Why you not? I mean, I saw it, but then when we tried to speak about it, we lost family. We lost.
Boy, trying to be a black conservative in this world. I mean, yeah, a lot of the stuff that people would call conspiracy stuff is all coming out and people starting to see and all that sort of stuff. But think about 10 years ago. Think about when Obama was in office. Think about all this stuff. And I'm holding, first of all, I was in the military. So I had to keep my mouth closed about the things I saw anyway. So needless to say, it was a, hmm?
Did they put you on a list? Do you think that you ever was on a list when because we found out the list that Barack Obama, he has 8 different categories that he was labeling all of the Republicans, Christians, Catholics, and everything. Do you ever feel because the very first category was veterans and military? Y'all was the very first key people that was on the hit list of Barack Obama as a homegrown terrorist.
I am very sure that I'm on somebody's database in the Obama administration, or better yet, the liberal, group that, the deep state, put it that way. I'm on that list. And that's one of the reasons I'm running again, because, I was kind of alluding to, I don't mind a good fight, but if you cheat me, I'm coming right back at you. That's just me with my country ass. So, yeah, I'm definitely on somebody's list. But here's the thing. We need to stand up collectively and fight back, because this is not about us. I mean, you're a little younger than me, but I got grandchildren and I want them to live and at least as well as I have. And I've lived a pretty doggone good life. But if I sit back here and take my little retirement and go back and get on that horse farm that I promised myself 40 years ago, I don't know if my grandkids are going to be okay. So this is what we do. We take the fight to the enemy.
Speaking of the deep state, now that you know that Trump is not going to bend his knee to Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries when it comes to the continuous resolution for the demands that they want, and now he's already said, "Go ahead and shut the government down because this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to furlough anyone. I am laying off and firing non-essential workers." And pretty much that's from what I'm hearing. That's the deep state, all
Yeah.
these little bitty departments here, the little bitty departments there, all your nepotism friends, all of the stuff on K Street and the rest of these, do they once President Trump shut that down, or effectively the Democrats shut that down, the deep state is fired.
Yeah, you are correct. I mean, to give an example, and I know this is going to sound a little weird, but follow me here. It really doesn't take that much to run the government as far as personnel. Now, for example, during COVID, I'm walking around DHS, and 80%, I would guess, of the entire federal government was working from home. Now, while they were working from home, I'm emergency essential. I can't go home until my day is done, and then I got to go right back. My boss, unfortunately, yeah, I had lots of bosses, but my real boss who paid me was out of Northcom out in some big hole in Cheyenne Mountain, but that's another story for another time. The issue of the day is that we were operating the government during
Un-
COVID, during, go ahead.
You, how in the world are you going to tell us about a secret base and then just skip on over it?
It's not secret. You can look it up.
I ain't never been in it.
Going out to Colorado, I don't think they let you in, but it's not secret. Well, let me put it to you that way. Um, it exists, and as they're
Mhm.
not trying to hide it, but I dare you to try to get in.
Okay, now go ahead and then finish that because I'm like, who? Yeah, I ain't never. Okay, then go ahead.
Well, there's things that slip out of my stupid mouth sometimes, but it's not classified that it exists.
Oh,
So,
so
so here it is. I'm wandering around DHS during COVID. I'm at DHS headquarters with Mayorkas and his crew, keeping my mouth closed and trying to make sure that I don't do anything rash that I'll regret. But the place was empty. And while this place was empty and all these people were back home scared of COVID, we were letting in 20 million illegal aliens. We were bringing in, um, let's see, 70, no, 85,000 Afghans. We were bringing in, as I remember, about 18,000 Haitians. All these people were coming in, and we were telling the American people that we were vetting all these people. How did the hell that we were going to vet these people where everybody working for the government was at home?
thank you. There was no way they vetted any of these people, even during the refugee resettlement program that was brought to us under Obama. They was just letting these people in. Because you remember there was a couple of stories where these elderly refugees was bringing their underage brides with them, and none of these people was vetted. Now
Oh,
you got
yeah.
measles coming back, measles, all the stuff that we got rid of with what they made us take. Now these diseases that we eradicated is coming back with a vengeance because they did not vet these people.
No possible way they could, but we lied and told them that we did.
But they
And
gave them moses and everything.
yeah. So, needless to say, I feel a little some kind of way about that. And again, people, this is my third time running, okay? But I'm not living in a normal state. This is a one-party state. And I know the chances of me winning are slim, but if we can gather enough people that are angry, if we can gather enough of those independents that are tired of the Democrat Party, running roughshod over everything in this part of the country, we're going to create a movement. And if we create that movement, we can take this thing back, put another vote for the good guys in the Congress, and then, God forbid, we get in there and turn things around. It'll be great for our grandchildren. How about that?
Did you say Old Bay has been in Maryland for more than 100 and something years?
I believe you are correct.
You might want to have you talk to them because they're threatening to leave Maryland.
Yeah,
Have
the
you talked?
taxes are the taxes are crazy. There is a whole lot cheaper for them to operate in Virginia. But here's the thing: this group of leadership that we have, to include old bobblehead Wes Moore and Sarah Elfreth and Kwazizi Mfume and the rest of these characters,
No, not from
they
your
go ahead.
Kwame Mfume. I thought he is from your state.
Yeah, all of them. But the issue of the day is they're not recruiting businesses. They're busy spending money and putting us in debt. I mean, I think it was you know, John Myrick told me that, okay, we start off with a $5 billion surplus. 2 years later, old bobblehead gets in, and now we got a $3 billion deficit. That's an $8 billion change. Where do we get this from? And businesses are leaving the state like crazy. As I looked at the stats yesterday, this is the fifth most expensive place to live in the entire United States. Not good. Not good at all. And they're taxing everybody like crazy. And I'm just hoping I can have some sort of effect. I mean, the government, as in you, paid for a lot of money. I mean, if you could see all these degrees upstairs that my country has got, I'm not as dumb as I sound. But the issue of the day is y'all have paid for a lot of education, and I want to give you some return on your money. And part of that is, hey, let's fix this mess. We are too far in debt and we're giving money to people that don't deserve it. And there have been people on, illegal aliens coming in here on Medicare. Try going to a emergency room in a big city on a Saturday and see what happens to you.
Mm.
You're going to be at the back of the line because those people that don't have insurance that came from another country, that's how they get their Medicare. But you're paying for it. I want to fix that.
Wait. We're paying for that, paying for
Yes.
their everything else. When do we ever get a break?
Stop voting Democrat. That's when we get a break.
I think you need go ahead. This is what I'm gonna need for you to do because after the Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there's been so many Democrats that has left and walked away from their party and actually is becoming Republicans and registering as Republicans. Have you ever thought about reaching out because Scott Pressler lives up that way? Have you because he's focusing on Pennsylvania, but I'm
Hmm.
sure he can focus on you and getting the word out and everything else. Have you thought about reaching out to a lot of us to come out there because the third district is huge, and you're
It is.
gonna need some help with door
I,
knockers and things like that.
I just got approved to run at the state and federal level about 2 days ago. So this is all new. And, Scott's pretty big time. He does everything for the president, and I'm very proud of what he did. I met him at APAC and a couple of other events. I think he came to Baltimore and he was trying to clean up. So totally cool guy. And if he would come help me, that would be a wonderful thing. But I got to get organized, and I'm working on it. The primary won't be until June of next year, so we got plenty of time and a lot of things we need to figure out. But you're right. I mean, the Democrats run everything here, and they've been running it into the ground. Our infrastructure is falling apart. And oh, by the way, that bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge that the boat ran into
Yes.
accidentally, it still looks like a bunch of steel spaghetti at this point. And people don't seem to understand that bridge creates a bottleneck for traffic coming out of the Dundalk area of Maryland. So basically, putting a lot of pain and stress on people's lives because they can't get to work. I mean, somebody who might have a normal 30-minute commute, now they got an hour and a half commute. And the
Mhm.
commerce that would have been coming from the ocean into that port can't do it anymore. So it's just making things a lot more difficult. And the issue of the day is that how come we haven't fixed that thing? Now, I'm over here going out deep. You ever been down to Louisiana?
Absolutely.
You ever been across Lake Pontchartrain?
They they pulled over, made the strongest drink possible, made me have I blacked out. So I was the only reason why I went on there because my son was graduating from the Air Force, so we had to go to Texas.
Mm.
So we had to go to Texas. They said what 10 miles out. My mom pulled over, made me the strongest mixed drink I've ever had. She said, drink it all right now. And next thing I knew, I passed out and we was past that bridge. Only
You know
thing I
what?
remember, I woke and I saw my life flash before my eyes. And why is it so damn high? That's pretty much it. And I blacked back out. So I have
So
a fear. So they tried to calm me down.
it's a long. I think it's one of the longest bridges, if not the longest in the entire world. But the point is, when Katrina happened, guess who came racing down there and got that bridge operational?
Oh,
The United States Army Corps of Engineers. That's who.
I thought George Bush didn't care about black folks.
Well, eventually he had to put up, or shut up. And the Corps of Engineers does emergency bridge repair. How come they haven't come up here and fixed that Francis Scott Key Bridge? I've
Did
seen
he
them build,
ask?
I've seen them build bridges in Afghanistan for other countries.
I mean, who's paying for the bridge first? That might be why you haven't got it fixed because there's no money in the budget.
There's no money in the budget, but the Army Corps of Engineers already has money programmed for emergencies.
Do you think is it? Then it must be his ego because all he got to do is ask for the help.
He ain't gonna ask Trump for anything because that would be politically incorrect. That's the
If
same
that's a
guy that won't come and offered for troops to come to Baltimore to quell some of that drug dealing they got down there. Remember when we were talking about in DC, they had the troop deployment in DC, and now they ain't had a murder there in months. Why can't they do that in Baltimore? Why can't they do that in Chicago? Why can't they do that in Memphis?
they don't wanna. They
They
don't
don't
want to.
want to.
They do not want to clean up the streets. How we know they're not getting kickbacks or their friends are?
There's a whole lot of money to be paid and keep a whole lot of money in keeping people poor. How about that?
Wait a minute, that makes it even worse. And how is it so much money in keeping people poor when you should be making them more prosperous, which would make you more prosperous?
Well, you're assuming that these people are ethical.
Well, I'm trying to figure out anybody that would like to keep any community on the broke side of town.
When you
Why would you
got
have
when you
a
got
general?
a whole lot of nonprofits running everything, and every damn near everybody in Baltimore work for a nonprofit, they don't look at this USAID thing, and you find out that, oh, by the way, this is nothing but money laundering operations. Everybody's getting paid, but the taxpayer. They don't
I'm just
want Trump coming in there with the National Guard and bringing order and normality and civility. Oh, hell no, we can't make any money off of that.
well, who owns the waterway up there then? If the bridge is tore down and it actually goes out into the ocean, wouldn't the federal government have jurisdiction over that waterway to begin with?
Well, you would assume so, but I don't want to get all to the deepest because I'm no sailor, I'm no Coast Guardsman. What I do know is the Army Corps of Engineers is available if the governor wanted to use them, but repairing this bridge is going to be a monumental ability for profit for someone. Okay. And if the Army Corps of Engineers comes in here and uses your tax dollars to fix something that needs to be fixed, then all those contractors that are lining up to get paid, they're not going to get any
Well,
money, or they'll
because
get
the
a
Army
lot less.
That's because the Army Corps of Engineers actually came and fixed it, and not somebody waiting on a permit or somebody else to go through something without somebody else getting hands being greased. We got a minute and 43 seconds left, so I'm gonna leave that up to you, Berney.
Well, first of all, Lucretia and Dave, you guys are my buddies. I enjoy spending time with you. If I had my way, I'd come on here every day, but I need to go out there and win an election for my people, you know? And so if y'all, we're setting up all our details and all that and bank accounts and all that kind of crazy stuff. Um, BerneyFlowers.com is where my website is. If you look me up on Facebook, X, all these crazy, I got about 10 channels, but it all goes back to my website, BerneyFlowers.com. We're going to have Anodot and WinRed set up very, very soon. And rather than asking people for these massive donations, I'm not trying to take your rent money. If on Facebook, we had 500,000 views last month. If each person sent me $1, we could make this real competitive, and we could put those deep staters to shame. They don't want
Well, I'm
me in office.
So everybody that is Bernie, because I am not finna shut you off. Last month I had 6.7 million hits on Facebook. Could you imagine if we got $1 from all? We wouldn't be worrying about trying to save our house. We wouldn't be asking anybody for anything. So
There you go.
BernieFlowers.com. He is running for the United States Congressional District number 3 in Maryland. Go over there and help him volunteer. Keep it. Just ask if he needs some help. Phone call, phone banks, or knocking. Krisha, we ain't there yet. Well, you're gonna need the infrastructure. So Bernie, thank you, bro.
Thanks for having me. You guys take care.
All right, you too. All right, everybody. We're at the end of the first hour of the show. See, that went by fast, and I didn't.